Welcome back, folks, to the Pillars of Eternity. As always, I'm Falcon, your host. Hello, this fine day. And today, we're going to Dyrford Village. I leveled everybody up. I also tried to fiddle around with whatever the hell this thing is, but near as I can tell, I simply don't have the key for it. I'm guessing that it requires a key, and I definitely don't have it, so it's not a thing that I can do anything with right now. So we're moving on to the village. I really kind of thought that might have been the place to find Sagani's person that she's looking for, because it has cliffs and stuff, but apparently not. So, find someone in town who knows about the ruins. What ruins is this? Mysterious ruins somewhere outside of Dyrford. Oh, right. It's there, Form her. Yeah, whatever. Doing that one eventually. I don't know where these cliffs are. Where's that we have to go back to the base for? No idea what to do with this guy. And I don't know where this is supposed to be at. Cliabon Rilog. I don't know where that is. But we can't do nothing with that one just yet. Alright, so Temple of Barath. Dyrford Mill. The Inn. I don't know what that is. Courier? Courier. I don't know, I'm not sure what that is. I've heard that name before, but I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. Grieving Mother for some reason is permanently lit up. I have no idea why. Apothecary. And an arms and armory. Well, we're close to the temple, so let's check out that before we do anything else. Cowled Man. Cowled Dwarf. Somewhat concerned about those people. What you got? Stuff I don't care about. Harbinger, Bealdmar, and Selby. You sound somewhat less interesting. Don't trust me with anything more than lighting candles.
Out right, with then. You! I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
Those cowled guys outside. Old man turns to you as you enter. His face is covered in bruises and his lower lip is swollen. Ah. Looks like someone's beating us here.
How may I help you?
There's something between a smile and a wince. What happened to you?
I saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins.
Ah.
Cliabon Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
Indeed, that probably is unusual. Most people are probably like, hey, where's those ruins at? You know, the place. These guys actually knew what it's called.
They wanted to know where Cliabon Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
No, you'd be right, it's not. Something else I can help you with? You tell me where to find the ruins.
The Fathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
To stop those people who beat the crap out of you, that's what. He folds his arms and stares at you with one eye and a scowl. This Haravius, a new person. So this is where I say, go into the ruins and I'll kill you. And that's when you say, Haravius, I'm a watcher and you're no match for all of us. And we've got a good reason for this. And then I give up trying to argue with you and leave you to dig your own trespass's grave. And I'm only being half metaphoric. We sometimes make Direwoods dig your own grave before we kill you. When the kids hear about it, it's a fabulous deterrent. Oh, so okay, he's actually one of those guys. It's funny. Oh well. So, dangerous plot is unfolding here. Tell me because I'll give you and your assistant another beating if you don't. A dangerous plot is unfolding there. I have got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relog here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Pretty sure that's not gonna happen. So tell me more about Dyrford. Folk here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the Dyrwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? So this is a temple. Tell us about Barath. The most universal of all the gods, it oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Barath, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Barath has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Dyrwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight or the Usher. The Glonfothans, however, know it as whatever the hell that is. Tell me about the Pallid Knight. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Barath, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor with black eyes, black hair, and milk-pale skin. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Who's the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems about the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. Basically, the Grim Reaper, more or less. And I've never heard about whatever the hell that is. It means life and death and life, respectively. You see them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Of course, Barath was once widely worshipped, but is a silent god. Okay. Death's Gate. I have a feeling what he just told us about the death and life and death is probably very much to do.
Before I knew it, the Stelgar was on top of me, and I was face down in the dirt.
Arrow to the throat. That stops him.
Yeah.
What? No! I was spirit shifted, and she was in heat, so I aimed for the throat, but not with an arrow.
I'm not gonna go there. Not gonna go there. Us, we're just minding our own business. Pretty sure you guys are enemies. From here on, pretty sure I'm not.
Point the way.
So let's position our people where they can engage
Quay?
you guys. And get the people we don't want immediately fighting out of the way. Alright, an elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent. Greetings, friend. A small smile forms as he eyes you. If I'm not mistaken, you and I share a common acquaintance in House Dominil. Perhaps. Discreet? I can see why our mutual friend trusts you. I'm here on a little errand. There's a thief hiding out in the village. An Orlan named Nefir shook something that belongs to the Dominils. I want to find her and get it back. When you find her, what happens to her? The Dominils believe in setting an example. They want to make sure nonsense like this doesn't happen again. But leave that part to me. What did she take? Doesn't matter. A tight-lipped sort like you should know how this works. And how do I figure into this? Simple! You're the smooth talker. All you need to do is find her and lure her out of hiding. My friends and I will take care of the rest. Yeah. I could draw her out. She won't know you. It'll be simple. Few questions. What did she do exactly? She stole from our friends, the Dominils, and they can't let her get away with something like that. I'll get back to the search.
Oh?
Lure her out of Dyrford. Okay, so we're actually luring her out of town, not just out of wherever she is. There's just a bunch of people whose souls I can read. Not terribly interested though, because that just takes a lot of time. I'll claim the goodies. Those might prove useful at some point. So far I have not found any real use for all of the materials that we find scattered all over the place, but doesn't mean we won't at some stage. Now one of them must be a ranger, because they have a boar companion. House Haron, the guard. A word traveler, only require a moment. What are the odds? Stuck in this backwater will only meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay. Baroth's wheel brings mercy today indeed. Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw yon elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. Who's she? Lady Elise. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Harond, and she's gone missing. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harond at the inn. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. I might be able to look for your lost lady. If, you know, the pay's good and all. Rumbald. Sure. Whatever you say there, buddy. Rumbald yourself. Alright, so I think there's only one person left that I haven't met as far as, companions go. That doesn't do crap for me. Also useless and useless. Pretty much as I expected. In Defiance Bay, I heard there's no Hollowborn there. You'd be wrong about that. There's Hollowborn there too. Whoever told you that is just lying and probably trying to make you mad at the city. Rumbald. Man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his sun-wreathed face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury that he doesn't seem to notice you. Galawan, slobbery beasts, blazing bloody effigy, thrice damned salty wench and her soggy. Hey. That's probably not the best way to pray to the gods. A fat lot of good they've done me so far. Just look at this mess. My pen ruined, and all but a few measly grunts gone. What are you talking about? An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folk have been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the wood, but it seems to be staying away from town. Or so we all thought until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for kith, if it hasn't already. Did you see the ogre take your pigs? What else could have destroyed my pen and made off with my herd? And at the same time, the rest of the village is seeing a 10-foot monster in the forest. It gives you an appraising look. I know a few toughs like you during the Saints' War. Which is it? Raid for hire or raid for fun? I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but it'd set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you braid its ugly pate to me, and I'll trade you for something that's of less use to a farmer like me than to you a, roddy-looking sort like yourself. Yeah, have you seen an Orlan named Nafir? Know where she is? Ever heard of her? What do you know about the ogre? It's the same as any other, I'm sure. Big ugly son of a bitch, with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Turgle could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. You can find him in his shop, right by the broken tower. Yeah, okay. Sure, dude. Whatever you say. We'll go find your wee monster. Oh yeah, these villagers got anything to say? Hey you, quit moving. Lord staying there is a bit worn out as welcome.
Can you smell the oily notes of brain fat in the air? Cured leather always makes me so hungry.
Aha. Okay, we can actually take that without fear. Who are you? Potions to sail, potions and ow! Oh. A woman leans against a wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages with raw, rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty, tiny scent wafts from her dressing. Just ventured into town. About dry some of my stocks, but you're welcome to have a look-see. Why are your stocks limited? It's the damn roads. Can't reach none of my suppliers, so I'm stuck here with whatever I can scrounge up in the wood. Firecap, river reed, and the like. That's well and good, but most potions require something stronger too. Troll skin, vessel bone, what have you. And then there's the really rare ingredients, things you'd never be able to afford, let alone find on your own. What did you find? Hadina winces, the rest of the story comes tumbling out of her. I've been keeping an eye on a drake's nest east of town, at Dyrford crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay a clutch and move on. Thank the Sky Mother it wasn't a full-grown dragon. Looks at a bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants who are left in nests for weeks or more. And that clutch looked to be at its peak. Thought I'd see about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched, or that young worms were so territorial. I could get one for you. Keeps your gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. If you really mean to go after it, I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile. There's a lot more I could do with a whole one.
Well met, friend.
What else I can do for you? Got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. How'd you get burned? By the flame. How bad does it look? Terrible, I know. I'm surprised you can go out in public. Looks like it hurts. That's the mighty soft way of putting it. I told you about my run-in with the worms. I reckon you put the rest together already. An Orlan named What's-Face. I did see an Orlan lady heading into the Dracogen just the other day. I don't know what her name was, but she was acting real sneaky-like. On the roads, brigands, looters, you name it. The gods be hollowing out our babies, but it's grown focus rubbing out the rest of us. People are scrambling to Defiance Bay because they hear this healthy burst there, and all those refugees and abandoned homes attract desperate sorts, like flies on dog sheet. Alright, show me your wares. Sure thing. I don't think it was garnet I needed. I need... And I need rubies, that's what I need. Rubies, sapphires, Vithrak brains, and dragon eyes. Primal winds, agate. Okay, bunch of stuff that I don't have available. Ogre blood. Oh, and I don't think you have any of those things that I want. No, you really don't. So you're not horribly useful to me. At the same time, there's one thing that I can do with you. Oops, sell the fairly significant quantity of junk that I have available. Oh my lord, so much stuff. Sell spears and those. That's good. Let's just sell everything. I don't need any of that stuff, so. So many hide armors. I was keeping these for specific, just as like collectibles reasons. Oh god, cat. Trying to record. Keep your face silent. Keep your fuzzy self silent. Hey you, talking to you. Just giving me this very sad look, like, how dare you speak to me in such a manner? Can't you see how wonderful I am? I demand attention. 4,000 some dollars, jeez. Alright, take a whole bunch of stuff that you probably will never, ever
Yes.
find a use for. Have fun. Enjoy. Have fun and enjoy. You will probably hate me forever. Useless.
Now here's some.
Oh crap. Ow. Oh
Yes.
god, really, cat? Seriously.
To whispers and shadows.
Hush your face. Alright, what do you want? As Jadiri, you feel a vibrant history containing the essence of this man's soul. Voices from his past seem to call out to you. Godlike vowed you would feel his pain. It appears your rent has come due. Okay, so you actually don't have anything interesting to say to me. You're just a person whose soul we can read. Really, cat? What do you want? Silence. Silence your face. Silence your beautiful face. Probably want to leave my room, don't you? Alright, give me 1 second, folks. I'm gonna stand up and open the door for her so she quits harassing me. Yes, you. You with the face. Oh, the terrors of having cats. Alright, let's see. Where are we at? Somebody's... Oh, maybe they're talking about Winfrith. 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 We go in here? I don't remember if we went in here or not. Did we go in here? No. Apparently not.
What have we here?
And what does the flame reveal?
Oh. I'll take it. Okay. Not one for chit-chat, dwarf. Speak to Turgle if you've got questions. Ooh, moonstone.
I'll stay out of sight.
Good day,
Alright, what do you want? Sturdy, broad-shouldered man wipes his hands in the slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, and his arms are stained with dye. You could have purchased some leather. Mentioned something about an ogre. He's hardly talked about anything since those pigs of his went missing. Old Talon's been worried about that monster. People are starting to see shapes in their windows at night, hearing its growl and the snoring of their mates. Put a lot of minds at ease if someone got rid of it. Sometimes venture into the wilderness collecting ingredients for my dyes, mind you. See tracks out of here, east of here, near the river, that couldn't have been anything else. Something else you need. What's in the collapsed tower? It's collapsed. Nothing. Few hides on stretching racks and the tallow stench Dingler's always grumbling about. Rest that keeps dust, just like the fool lady Dana who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the inn who'll tell you the whole blazing story if you want to hear it. Have you seen Nephir and Orlan from Defiance Bay? Make it a point to keep out of other people's business. We have for sale. Ooh, we have exceptional stuff. Might be down for that. He's got fine leather is what he's using. Fortunately, you don't have exceptional leather currently. Critical hit damage reduction and +1 endurance. Well, I might buy those too because I have few enough belts for people. They might prove useful. Oh, he put these things in my inventory. Let's sell that because I think he has a Novice Grimoire on his inventory. Or a mage person. Down in my private quarters. That goes for you and Haran's bootlickers.
Laying low.
I wonder... Let me save real quick. I think this is not gonna go badly if I try to do this. He's probably gonna attack me or something, but I'm curious. What are you? Effigy's eye. Sabin, stop her! He raises his axe. Rage in his eyes. I just want to see what's in here. Ah, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. What do you guys have here? Hmm?
Yeah.
Armor's Plight is dead and no longer of any use. Fine saber and a bunch of junk.
Indeed.
I am curious about one thing, and it is the reason that I did that. I want to know what's down here now. Why does he have an underground entrance that he's trying to keep hidden from everybody?
Laying low.
Why does he have an underground entrance he's trying to keep hidden from everybody, and what is down here? Apparently a wood beetle is down here. Easy enough to kill. An rumpled bedroll appears to have been used recently. A crude symbol has been painted on the canvas and streaks with something that looks like blood. Beetle shell. I may reload after this because I was mostly doing it for
Keeping an eye out.
out of curiosity to see what was in there. I wasn't really intending to kill the guy. So unless we find something really super interesting down here, I'll probably reload. But it's cool to check it out and see what is down here. Alright, what kind of abilities do you have? Boiling spray. Oops. Overwhelming wave. Wicked briars. Moonwell. Conjure blight. Jagged rock to stab upward from the ground. 50. Turning storm. This is the one skill that the one druids that we ran into were using against us. Yeah, we'll try returning storm. Alright, then transform. Any ear, buddy. Any ear. There we go. Oh, it's per rest. Oh, crap. It's not what I wanted. Oh, he transformed and and we lost the ability with the spell effect. Okay, that's good to know. Don't use. I want to try the. Nope. Okay,
Yes.
well, it looks cool. Didn't actually get to try and see it. Okay, so do not transform because your spells disable if you transform. So don't cast a spell and then transform. Doesn't do anything for you. Doesn't do anything for you if you do that. highly detrimental to your cause.
Whispers and shadows.
This looks like it goes somewhere. It does go somewhere. Goes to a wall.
On the hunt.
A wall that clearly can be opened. Even if we apparently can't go anywhere with it right now. Okay. Interesting.
Slowly now.
What did you just say? Slowly now? Who are you? Skane, Temple, Sentry, and Fanatic. Okay.
Yeah?
Interesting. Nice. Okay, let's try this.
Stop.
Boom. Explode your face. It'll throw down all of our combat capabilities. Fortunately, people are in the way for that. Can't use that one because people are in the bloody way. That's the new ability that she got. I was trying to try it out, but sadly, looks like we can't use it right now. Well, you die quick. Oh, hi. How you doing? Let me tell you right now, you're doing poorly. Regardless of how you may think you're doing. Because your enemies always seem to think that you're doing fine. Well, you're not. Trust me.
I'll stay out of sight.
Ow! That bloody hurt! What was that? Interesting.
All right then.
Yes.
That really hurt. Just straight up knocked me down. Alright, folks. I think I'm going to go ahead and reload that save. And we'll come back here only if it looks like we need to use that exit or that entrance. Because I can clearly see right here there's another entrance to this place. So I have a feeling this is an area that was supposed to come back to later. Oh, this is actually the ruins. Interesting. Nevertheless, I would rather not kill the dude for no good reason as things stand. So I'm going to reload before having done that. And next time we will finish up securing the town, wandering around, checking things out. And I'll see what we can do at that point. So I'm only going to go into there if via his entrance there, if it doesn't seem like we'd have a choice. Because I'd rather not kill the guy for no good reason. Just real quick, I want to see what this grieving mother thing is that refuses to disappear. Looks briefly through you as if she doesn't know you're there. This middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. She's the other, I think she's the other companion. Her hands are working at separate stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the lawn fiber stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Excuse me. The woman doesn't respond. She keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables with a steady rhythm. She may be deaf, but there's no indication she heard you. Study the woman. First glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, but who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer, she's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from the lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her, even though the motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color and a shape that lacks interest. Maybe that she is half-minded, or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Focus on her. Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downward, her hands become long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver and wrapping around her hands. She is forming a soul cradle with the threads, braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together, with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it. And suddenly you are calm. You are on a plateau, almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist. Although whether it is actual mist, or distance, or a recollection. Resting the curve of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you in the event unfolding before you. The plateau is soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body. Your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings, and you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts like more mist rolling softly into a sealed chamber. And, focus on the chimes coax you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Adra? The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of a brass wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick, wet from the womb. The hands you are inhabiting have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing crying out. Focus on the child. As your hands move, you hear the sounds of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where you're coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. Draw the child forth, and coax by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope. No, an umbilical cord from the legs of a naked woman before you. You're holding a small child, still wet from the womb, before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you were viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Turn to the child, to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists. They were once the echo to the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound, guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotion seems soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. The child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the memory persists. With effort, the scene bleeds of color into your mind and becomes your own again. There is no pole, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remain. As they existed in the memory, they sound here as well, and they're hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sounds of the chimes in her wrists are sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. She sits before you, but she is nothing like what you saw when you first saw her. She is wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black, are run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize that what you see is not what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. What did you do to me?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
As the light touching your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist sound softly. Her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. A cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
Granted to be a walk, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands, uncertainly, as if she has been sitting for some time, but was too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt, yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
Almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her, the image on the plateau, yet the image was so clear, so sharp. You're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
Requirement not met. She's a cipher too, I believe, but... felt like a pathway between our minds, but strange, gentle. I wonder what this requirement is. It doesn't say what the requirement is.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There's a silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat, in your thoughts it stretches out between the two of you like a pole between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, yet can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful. Or there simply are not enough pieces. Assemble the thought. You wish to travel with me. You feel a wave of fear, gusted with the strength of relief, although oddly her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates, and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down from upon you. Yeah, she's a cipher. So... near as I can tell, we don't have a quest for Heravius. I'm sure there probably is one, but we don't have it. I feel like we should keep him in the party, though, because he was talking about, doesn't want us to go to the ruins and stuff. So he's probably somewhat related to the ruins, so we should probably keep him around with us for right now. So I don't think I'm going to take her. I would like to, but I don't think I'm going to. Having another cipher, though, the amount of spells we could throw out would just be kind of ridiculous. So she would probably be more useful than most of the other characters, because I use my cipher abilities more than pretty much everyone else's. And there's the quest for her. let's look around real briefly before I... What is that?
On the hunt.
Junk. I'll take it though. It may be junk, but I will take it. Alright, let's check these other buildings down here real quick.
Eyes open.
I just want to see, can I do anything with these buildings, or are they just there? Yeah, they look like they're just there. So the only place we have left to go is the armory. Let's actually go inside real quick and check that out. And then the inn, which we will look at the next episode, is where we'll go there first. But let's real quick check out the inn before we... Who are you? Dyrford.
Hello.
Portly, smiling man stands behind a warped wooden counter, polishing a buckler. He looks up. Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company is good for business, and chat is good for the soul. That's what I say. Anyway, what can I do for you? We're on the Dyrford. Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happiness happens here, especially not since the legacy hit. People realize they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that makes a lot of the excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can believe it. Ooh, wow, you got some real stuff. Apparently I can't do that from the inventory here. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's see what he got. Great sword. Annihilation, overbearing, major accuracy. Nice, although the fact that it doesn't have damage as well is somewhat makes it somewhat limited use. We still had the mage guy around. This would be nice. Yeah, it's not bad. What's about this? Spear, accuracy. Ooh, lots of accuracy stuff. Wow. And crush damage. It's very similar to what the spear that I'm using. Oh, no. What's his face? I gave it fire damage instead of crush damage, but it's, you know, basically the same thing. It just doesn't have Valiant, obviously. Because that's not something that I could put on stuff. At least right now. Alright, let's see. Mosquito. We don't have anybody who uses rapiers, but... Not bad, but not super great. Okay. That's alright, but not that interesting. Boots. Zealous Aura. Area of Effect. Chant Area of Effect. Nice. Alright, so you have some interesting stuff. I might buy those boots, because I think...
Tell me.
Oh?
Hello.
Zealous Aura, Area of Effect. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna buy those, because those would be useful for her. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and hand out these things that we have. Increase critical hit damage. I'm assuming that's, yeah, damage taken. Let's put that on him, because he's our tank. Regen. Let's put regen on her, and then we give the new boots to give her as well. Alright, cool. Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I will see you next time. This has been Pillars of Eternity. I have been Falcon, your host, and thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.